welcome to Wednesday's edition of Off the Cuff. If it's your first time here, so happy to have you with me. And I'm excited for this topic. If I'm going to be honest, it's taken me a lot to do this because of our own experiences have been very difficult. I can't share a lot of them because there are a lot of innocent people involved. But now it's time that, I kind of say it like it is without going into any specifics. So before we get this party started, couple things. If you would like our information, mine and my husband's social media, you go to in the description. It's got a list of everything there. Also, Friday, double header, Fab 4. It's going to have a special one this Friday. If you really want to be pumped up and you really want to get excited, you need to watch this. I was talking about it this morning with the guys. And Friday, it will be another interesting off the cuff. Not many people share this stuff. So it's going to be a good one. So Friday, that's at noon Eastern. Now, if you want to know how you get on my Rumble channel, it's Delora OBrien, The Gathering. That's where we host the broadcast for Fab 4 at 6 o'clock on Friday, every Friday, 6 o'clock Eastern. Myself and sometimes Dennis, sometimes someone else, but Charlie Jordan and Joe Dingle and myself, we just have a blast and give you information that is very timely. Okay, last but not least, Sunday night. Wait, I gotta say this. On Rumble, this channel, no, not this one, sorry. Rumble channel, Delora OBrien, The Gathering, is our online church service, The Gathering at Solomon's Porch. So you don't want to miss that. That's again, 6 o'clock at Rumble, 6 o'clock Eastern. Okay, now, top of the day to you. This is obviously from joyandcountry.com. Now, listen, this is the only thing I got to tell you. See the color? Here it is. See the color here? In real life, if you go to joyandcountry.com and you look for this in Delora's closet, this color is a little bit more teal. But because it's that greeny teal blue, it doesn't pick it up on the camera as well when you got a green screen. Okay? So that's the problem. But this sucker is, I'm telling you, again, another lasagna hider, unless you wanted to fit it a little bit more, like mine is. I'm normally a small or medium. Jenna got me a small in this because I wanted it a little bit more fitted. And that's what you can do. Otherwise, go to your true to size. And this is called painted canvas top. Looks like it, right? Looks like an abstract painting. It is in the material. I wish I could show you. The material is incredible. It's not cotton. It's like this beautiful, I don't know what it is. Go over there and you can figure it out. And also, let me see what she said about these. Okay, she said they sell quickly. She got a few more in for Mother's Day because people wanted to make sure they get something for Mother's Day. This is the Psalm 91 scripture, the angel wing, and the jewel. And she said they come in gold and silver. I have both. They're really amazing. Now, remember, when you see this price for this, a 30-inch chain, stainless steel, when you see this price for this, that includes shipping, free U.S. shipping. Always, we call it Jenna's on. And if it's your first time buying something, use the code WELCOME10 and you get 10% off. Oh, really, Jenna? Oh, I'm reading this. If you're looking for this, go in the link. Wait a minute, I got to tell you this. Or in Delora's closet on joyandcountry.com. She said, I just added a bunch of new items in the store and also some cute kids clothing. Oh, we're going to go over there and look. It's in the new category. You can find them in new and you can find them in Joy Mart. Okay? Wonderful. Remember, always Jenna's on free shipping. I'll say that at the end as well. Oh, kids clothes. Yay. Didn't even know that. She's sneaky, sneak stuff in. All right. So let me just say this. Okay. I in the 1980s, I was an actress in Hollywood, in Los Angeles. I lived there for several years. That's when Dennis and I went through that whole separation thing. He got transferred. It's a long story. I don't want to go into that. Go buy our book. But I was doing very well. I was had a role in on and off in a soap opera. I did commercials. I was on a film with Jerry Lewis. I was on a film with Dan Aykroyd. So I did pretty good in the 80s. Well, when I went back, God called us back 2006 from New York. I was in New York when I was working in ministry as well in the church on Long Island. And then when I moved back, I became a bi-coastal talent manager. I had at some point I had a few different managers working for me. I had over 100 clients, many of them in a lot of the shows that you watch in films. I produced series. I directed some series. I was involved in the production of a lot of pilots and films behind the scenes. I rubbed shoulders with some very well-known actors, TV creators of some of the shows, writers, producers. I never went to the parties. I went to one. And after I found out that it was, there were rooms, different rooms in a big mansion, and every room had something in it that people did. I walked out with my daughter, who was an actress and a singer at the time in her teens, and not Jenna, this is a different daughter, and never went to another party again, even though big CAA and all these big places invited me and my staff to go to the Christmas parties or whatever. When my daughter went, this is the kind of situation we were in. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to give you the background of Hollywood and the 3-letter agency. Okay. But let me just lay a little foundation. It was so bad that my daughter, again, 15, 16, 17 years old, she would go to different house parties or friends. She'd be home early. She was just a young girl, a believer, grew up with us, pastors. And I would have to send her out the door. I wish I had a bottle of water. And the cap, it would have, I would tear the label a little bit on the bottom and show her I told the label. She'd walk out the door with her own bottle in the cap that you unscrew. When you screw it tight, I used to do a marker, a black marker that was at the bottom and the top. So when you unscrew it, there was a little line on the bottom, a little line on the top. You screw it back on. If it didn't line up, you knew that somebody put something in your bottle. That's how we had to live when she went out, because everybody would roofie everybody, and it was bad. Now, I know a lot of things. Some of what I am going to tell you is firsthand. Some of it is what I observed. Some of it is what others have told me. And some of this info is researched. Okay. So I don't know how much I'm going to go into sharing things with you. Dennis and I were sitting at the table this morning, and I was, we spend every morning talking about things and planning. And we were remembering so many things that we were looking at each other. And I said, some of this stuff that's coming up, I still have to get healed from. So many things happened. So I'm going to lay out the background of Hollywood and then the 3-letter agency. And then I'm going to show you some examples of things you probably don't realize that are in movies that you have seen that are actually very shocking. So Hollywood, the film industry began to take off in the early 1900s. There were very, very primitive movies made then. A lot of them you can't even find now because they were just, done reel to reel and they're gone. The first film ever is a short film called In Old California, 1910. It was made, and it was a documentary, but they started making films right around there. Obviously, they were black and white. They were silent films. The first movie studio, which was called the Nestor Company, was on Hollywood Sunset Boulevard in 1911. And by 1920, Hollywood became the center of the film industry. Things moved quickly, very quickly. I was reading the history and knowing about the history. It's amazing what in 20 years, what happened. In 1913, Cecil B. DeMille and Samuel Goldwyn, which turned into Goldwyn Mayer MGM. But right now they formed, several others formed a company called Paramount Pictures. Cecil B. DeMille bought everybody out with a couple of the other partners, and it's still going on today. Charlie Chaplin was in a lot of the silent films as soon as talkies, where people talked, came out. Apparently he wasn't really good at that, and Charlie Chaplin was gone. By 1920, Hollywood became like the glitz and glamour capital. Pictures in newspapers now of all the big stars, and movie stars were looked up to like they were everything. They entertained audiences and became a force to be reckoned with in their own right. Warner Brothers and other production companies, excuse me, I'm sorry, I have to take this bracelet off. It's much as I love it. Warner Brothers and other production studios popped up all over Hollywood. Most of them are still there today. We lived in the Valley, San Fernando Valley, in a little town called Studio City. And the reason it was called Studio City is because there were so many studios there. We moved there specifically because I spent a lot of time in studios. Our daughter spent a lot of time in studios working. And so that was the most, because there was so much traffic, in LA. If you went anywhere other, it'd take you 5 hours to get a half hour away. So the 1930s emerged, and this became really big because you got to remember, 1929 was a stock market crash, and people were in breadlines and feeling the effect of what happened then. And so Hollywood supplied a lot of entertainment with the golden era of Hollywood. And then it was amazing, excuse me, that once they came out of the whole stock market crash thing and people started getting back on their feet, by the mid to end 1930s, nearly 70% of the population went to movies every single week. Soon musicals came out and war pictures, and because of World War I, and comedies and westerns, and major stars like Shirley Temple. Remember Shirley Temple? Came forward, and I remember it was when I was a kid. I would love watching films of her, old films, and Heidi and all those shows. I don't know if you guys ever watched some of those, but it was she was very talented. And now I think back, I get concerned. But World War II began, and the film industry got hit hard because people are involved with their loved ones going to war and things like that. So it was a very difficult time. But what they realized is if they could make wartime pictures and generate patriotism and awareness, then people wanted to see it, and they felt good. They walked out of the theater and they felt better. In comes the CIA. Let me just go there. From now on, I'm going to either call it the three-letter agency or I'm going to call it C. Okay, so I'm not going to say that again. Before C was formed, the government created a department called Office of Strategic Services, OSS. A memo was sent out to everyone in this group that formed before actual C formed. This is what it said. Quote, one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States and is recommended that the voluntary cooperation of all motion picture agencies, which are not under the control of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Understand, the war movies they were making, they went and got permission to use clips and things and be on the battlefield from the Joint Chiefs. Okay. So those motion picture agencies that were not under their control to participate in creating content for cinema to continue, get this, to encourage propaganda towards supporting the war. Elmer Davis, a popular director at the time, said this, quote, "The easiest way to inject a propaganda idea into most people's minds is to let it go in through the medium of entertainment pictures when they do not even realize they're being fed propaganda." A quote from Dwight D. Eisenhower, president in 1943. "The hand of government must be carefully concealed, in some cases, I should say, wholly eliminated, that a great deal of this particular type of thing would be done through arrangement with all sorts of privately operated enterprises in the field of entertainment, dramatics, and so on and so on." These privately owned entertainment enterprises were the film studios that dotted now at this point in the 40s, they were springing up all over Hollywood, especially in Studio City. So let's find out a little bit about C, that three-letter agency. It was formed in 1947. A lot of you know this, but let me connect the dots. By Harry S. Truman, who felt it would be a, quote, society-forming brainchild. Hear that. Society forming. They would be part of forming society and culture. Truman believed that a full functioning post-war intelligence organization was needed. So he signed the National Security Act, establishing that three-letter agency. And its first director was Rear Admiral Sidney Sowers of Navy Intel. But as critical procedures were put into place by the CIA to collaborate with the film studios, the Pentagon and the DoD, which is the Department of Defense, knew it would be highly beneficial if they were involved together. So let me read this. This is from them. The U.S. Department of Defense does not just, I'm sorry, this is from a documentary called Theaters of War. You may want to go watch it. The U.S. Department of Defense does not just subtly influence Hollywood's depiction of U.S. wars to present them in a more favorable light. The Pentagon actively demands script oversight and dictates storylines. In practice, it has been waging a full spectrum propaganda war against Western audiences to soften them up to support aggressive global U.S. militarism. I could say a lot right there, but I'll go down a hole. I don't want to. Read between the lines, guys, okay? Apparently, the Pentagon has been the secret guiding hand behind thousands of films and TV shows in recent decades. Many more movies never reach the screen because the Defense Department's Entertainment Liaison Office refuses to cooperate, believing the wrong messages they don't want heard are being promoted. There's verification of this everywhere, but I even went to the DoD website. I went to Google. I went to the three-letter agency website, and this is how interesting what's happening. This is going to give you a lot of for those that can hear this, it's going to give you a lot of excitement that these bleeps are on the run. Watch this. Now, let me explain. This is what I put in Google. Now, why would I go to Google? Let me explain to you why. See the amount of results, 7,670,000. You get the most hits. If you know how to operate on this browser, you can get a ton of things that you want to see. You got using quotes, and that's another day I should do how I research. But how and why the DoD works in Hollywood. Now, see, there it is. Look, U.S. Department of Defense.gov. How and why came right up. Came right up. But when I clicked it, this is what I got. Page not found. Page not found. Okay, let me go back here a second. That was in 2018. So let me explain. Obviously, the DoD wasn't aware, because you can go in and you can scrub this, but they didn't. They didn't. And now this is more telling than if they scrubbed it. You know, it's amazing to me. It's just amazing. So if you go to the three-letter agency website, you'll find an area of news that talks about the Offices of Strategic Services, just what I told you, the OSS. It explains why they got involved in movies, and it states that many actors wanted to enlist in the Army during these times, all the wars, Korean War, Vietnam War, Middle East, World War II. They wanted to enlist to help the country. So they took some of that content and put it into films. And this three-letter agency is well known all over Hollywood to allow cooperating, which I was not, cooperating directors and producers to use cars and airplanes and helicopters and submarines and pilots and military extras and advisors if they play ball. Did you ever notice how just about 90% of the bad guys, if they're from someplace out of the United States, they're from Russia? Why aren't they from Ukraine? Did you ever notice that? I find it very interesting. But making films, I know firsthand, very hard and very expensive. So here's how it goes. I'm producing a good guys, bad guys film. That's what I'm doing. I decide, I got all kinds of stuff. The concept's simple, typical. Underdog comes from behind, meets a woman, falls in love. He's keeping a secret from her. He's a military strategist. He's on the front lines of protecting his world from being destroyed. So this is how the negotiations would go. Producer sits there with three-letter agency or the other three-letter agency. The producer explains the film. They say, we can supply you with armored cars, planes, whatever you need. You need a submarine? We'll give it to you. Save you $100 million. Producer, amazing. Thank you. Three-letter agency. It's one thing you have to do for us so we can supply you with all you need. Oh, really? What's that? The good guys are us. The bad guys are Russia. Producer, sure, no problem. CIA gets what they want. Producer gets what he wants. That's why so many film producers and directors are in bed with all of this. All of them are not PEDOS. All of them do not drink things that people say they do. They're not. They are, some of them, great people that wanted to make film and couldn't afford it. Let me give you an example. One of my favorite films, Top Gun, Maverick. I love that film. I'm one of those women that loves war movies and cowboys and all that stuff. I really do. Not so much rom-coms, not so much. Maybe around Christmas. I don't know. Top Gun's producers got access. Let me read it to you. U.S. Navy aircraft carriers, naval air bases, F-14s. Now remember, a single F-14 cost $38 million. The entire budget for that film was $15 million. So what was the deal with the three-letter agencies, with those producers? Listen to this. The DOD would oversee the entire script and the entire production and weave in talking points and censor anything, scenes they didn't like. They also demanded the power of veto over specific actors that they didn't like, that wouldn't play ball with them before. And an official screening just for the higher-ups in this three-letter agency before Maverick could be approved for release. They wanted to make sure that everything they wanted in and everything they wanted out and the way the plot went and everything was just what they wanted. Also, if the guidelines weren't adhered to, the penalty would be, listen to this, to delete any footage that included any submarine, any aircraft carrier, any military personnel they gave you, anything. That would have to be deleted. Needless to say, if you've seen Maverick, it would have killed the entire film. And then they tell the producers, you will now be blacklisted and never work in Hollywood again. Another film, Iron Man. It was rewritten following Pentagon intervention. Get this. The main character, Tony Stark, played by Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man himself, was originally an outspoken opponent of the arms industry. Excuse me? That was the original script. He wanted to reinvent his father's empire to stop wars. After the Pentagon rewrite, Stark became the biggest proponent of the weapons industry. The script was even changed for Downey to say, peace means having a bigger stick than the other guy. I quote. The list goes on. Argo, Black Hawk Down, Clear and Present Danger, Hulk, Man of Steel, Fast and Furious franchise, and on and on and on. All of this is basically, a social engineering tool. So we are literally taught how to react to specific situations. Why? Fear, control, steer the narrative, outcome they desire. We're taught what we should think about certain topics, what to question, what not to question, what to believe, what not to believe. This is why interacting with each other and disagreeing needs to be okay. We've been taught that's not okay. It's okay. Disagree. Disagree with people. Love them. Love and truth. But you can't disagree with most people. They leave you. I've talked to you this before. I've lost friends. I've lost family. Why? Because I question things? Are you kidding me? It's true. This is why society's a mess. That's why we catalog people. We do it. I do it. You do it. Don't tell me you don't do it. It's true. Let's stop. Okay? Different columns. Let me give you some columns. Liberals, conservatives, pro-life, pro-choice, normies. You know that's my favorite. Awake, and on and on and on. Makes it nearly impossible to live with each other. You can only surround yourself with the group of people. But here's the upside to this, guys. Here's the upside. When And it's happening already. When you see people coming out against Mr. T, it's happening. It's happening. Dig, look, think. When it starts coming out even more, I want you to take that person and think of all the people they traveled with, they're friends with, they have pictures with. That will tell you, just like we want to be around people that we like, so do they. So what they're doing to us is going to expose all of them happening already. Lots of what you see, this is for another show, but it's based on the belief of the Druids. Okay, I don't know how many of you know what the Druids were, but they were magicians and priests, soothsayers in ancient Celtic religion. They were priests and teachers, judges. It's since like the 3rd century BC. No one knows where they came from. They were very involved in magic. What someone's giving me a budget. Okay, guys, if you're giving me a budget that's more than 15 million, I'm going to laugh. Where'd you get it? IMDb Pro? I go to Pro. You guys probably don't. But the budget was 15 million. Okay. If it says 225 million, that's what it would have cost with all this stuff. Take my word for it. It was 15 million. Okay. Thank you, Renee, for telling me that. I don't know who said it, but apparently that's probably what she was talking about. Okay. So here they were. No one knows where they came from. They were involved in magic. Many of the originators of the film industry followed these teachings. Okay. Now, what is interesting, and I've got to say this because this is going to tell you the foundation of Hollywood. Okay. Magic wands are used by stage magicians, conductors' wands, Harry Potter's wand. Let me show you something here. I can't see it. Let me see if I can put it up. Well, okay, watch this. The wood of the holly tree was used by Druids to make magic wands. The Druids believed that the holly had magical powers, which is why they used it in the wood to make magic wands. Today, certain magicians, the big ones, think of their names, still create magic wand from the wood of the holly trees. Do you know why the most popular entertainment in the industry in the USA is called Hollywood? It has to do with magic and mind control. The controllers are using Hollywood to create movies to cast magic spells on people who are not aware of the power of sacred symbols, sound, mnemonics, and words. Okay? Yes. Yeah. Hollywood. It's for magic and mind control. It's the most manipulating entity you can even imagine, more than you can imagine. Directors and producers that we all know are not stupid. They know how to get you to jump, how to make you fearful, how to make you believe what they want, how to manipulate you. It's just like people. Again, I'm not going down the flat earth road. I'm telling you, I'm leaning that way, but I cannot say it for sure. I know you guys. I'm gonna have FE people mad at me now and the globalists mad at me, but I don't know. Okay, but I am definitely leaning. But let me explain to you how funny it is. Everywhere you look, you see the globe. Everywhere. Every symbol, every movie, I forget which one it is. Universal Pictures right around the globe. Guys, it's very hard to question that sucker. We were brought up with it. I had a globe in my room at 6 years old. See, I have enough critical thinking that I can question it. Sad that there are still people that won't even hear that there's a possibility. Anyway, that's one of the biggest. But let me not go down that road. The music is programmed. Do you know that I had clients that told me that when they were in a music studio and they were overdubbing words, or they were singing over music, or that after it was done, everybody laid hands on it and played that Satan would anoint it? Yeah. Yeah, it's real. Yeah, it's real. So let's fast forward to the Oscars 2024. John Cena parades naked across the stage. Families nationwide watching. And they're left in shock. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Most people just see the glitz and glamour. Go look up what the Oscar actually is. I'm not going to go down that road, but go look it up. Behind that show is a sinister world of PEDOs, rapists, perverts. It's time to shine a light on them. That's why I'm doing this. Do the three-letter agencies know all this about Hollywood? You betcha. If you look at their records, the use of the word pizza as a code word is confirmed by them. Next time you watch a film, especially one that has young kids in it, or TV shows with young kids, remember the true cost of fame and fortune. Remember the innocent lives that have been sacrificed at the altar of Hollywood. They have an insatiable appetite for children and depravity. And remember, it was all, not only for that, to make money, fame, power, and to program us to believe what they want us to believe. It's now all in plain sight, guys, for at least maybe 30% of the world. But we see it, we're speaking out. Many didn't realize what they were seeing. And you know what? A lot of people still aren't aware. You can't get mad at them. You can't. I was awake, and probably 99% of you were asleep, and you all drove me crazy. Don't get mad at them. They don't know. They've been brainwashed. They don't know. They have. They're dealing with cognitive dissonance. We see it. Many of us are speaking out. What can you do? Post things like you are in love. Don't say, wake up, you idiot. Doesn't work. That doesn't work. But our kids, I remember Bambi. I cried my eyes out. Bambi lost his mother right at the beginning of the film. Never Neverland, full of little boys, don't have parents. Hansel and Gretel, remember them? Fattened up by a witch. So what? So she could eat them. Fairy tales, nursery rhymes, all in plain sight. But did we really see what was there? This is the one that's the most mind-blowing. I'm going to play this for you. This is a scene taken out of Pinocchio.
You blokes like to make some real money. Well, and who do we have to, No, nothing like that. You see, I'm collecting stupid little boys. Stupid little boys? And you see, and I takes them to Pleasure Island. Ah, Pleasure Island. Pleasure Island? But the law, suppose they... No, there's no risk. They never come back as boys.
We let our kids watch that. They put it out. It was Disney. We let our kids watch it. It got worse. Producers and directors infiltrated the, people who have an appetite for that, and just infiltrated more and more and more. They work at Disney, and their friends say, Amazing. Wow, you have it. You have it right there. Look at this. You put it in their faces. They still don't get it, bunch of jerks and idiots. They don't have a clue. That's what they say about us. Now, the next clip I have, I debated about putting up. I debated about it because it's absolutely shocking. And it was in your face. And you didn't see it. This is a clip at the end of Back to the Future 3. What I did is I took just the end, watched a little boy on the right, and I'm going to get out of it again. I'll make it bigger so you can see it. And then what I did was edited it with a close-up. Watch this. Back to the Future 3. The last scene. Watch the little boy on the right. Watch what the producers had him do.
Of course it's a race!
But what does that mean?
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Of course it's a race.
But what does that mean?
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has.
Did you see that? Did you see that? That's what they had that little 4-year-old boy do. Do this. And then point. Very upsetting. Very upsetting. So where are we today? Hollywood's depravity is crumbling. I want you to know that. I want you to know that. It's all being revealed. 3-letter agencies are scrambling to reinvent themselves. They're taking down websites that expose them, working with fewer and fewer producers. It's only a small amount. But even within movies and shows, you can get a glimpse of what's happening. Now, I'll tell you, there's a show that Dennis and I watch. It's called White Collar. It's on Netflix. Now, don't give me, I don't have Netflix because I wouldn't, because of the blah, 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 blah. It's all the same. It's all the same. I don't care what you're watching. I don't care what you're watching. I'm on YouTube. Who you think they are? You're watching. It's all. But not so much. Not so much anymore. White Collar was started in 2009. Renee, a lot of people said they don't get it. I will go back and I'll let you watch it again. Maybe you'll get it this time. Is a show about white collar crime in the FBI. Okay. Number one, it shows the corruption that happens. Oh my God. It shows the corruption. But there's a character in that show. And Dennis and I laugh. We laugh because we're catching up on watching it. We just started watching it about a month ago. And it's from 2009 and there's 6 seasons and another season this year I get. There's a character called Mozzie. And Mozzie in the show is a conspiracy theorist that constantly is stating truths. But what's interesting is it's never corrected. Like he'll say it and they'll go, oh, like it's true. And everything. There's no stone that Mozzie does not overturn. Listen, the creator and the writers of that show, and I'm when I get a minute, I'm going to look them all up, are obviously making a statement from 2009, absolutely making a statement. He's a bit eccentric, but very lovable. You believe him. You absolutely believe him. It was very hard for me to believe. Now I'm going to I'm going to end this with a clip from Argo. And in an interview with Ben Affleck. Not sure you know who Ben Affleck is in Hollywood? And that's another story. I can't go down that road. Watch this.
You're telling me that there is a movie company in Hollywood right now that is funded by the CIA?
Yes, sir. What's wrong with the bikes again?
We tried to get the message upstairs, sir.
You think this is more plausible than teachers?
Yes, we do. One, there are no more foreign teachers in Iran.
And we think everybody knows Hollywood people. And everybody knows they'd shoot in Stalingrad with Pol Pot directing if it would sell tickets. One of the themes of Argo is about storytelling and how powerful it is, from political theater to the way we kind of communicate to our children to the way that we inspire people, you know. And it's interesting that Hollywood and the clandestine services are both spend most of their time convincing people that something that's not true is in fact true.
You don't have a better bad idea than this?
This is the best bad idea we have, sir. By far.
The United States government has just sanctioned your science fiction movie.
Thank you, sir. Hollywood sort of develops this way of telling stories and oftentimes uses that and philanthropic causes or political causes, which people may or may not think are good.
Are there many actors in Hollywood who also moonlight as agents, do you think?
I think there are probably quite a few, yes. I think probably Hollywood is full of CIA agents, and we just don't know it. And I wouldn't be surprised at all to discover that, this was extremely common.
Yeah, like he doesn't know. Let me be quiet. Like he doesn't know. Yeah, okay. You're in the dark there, Ben. I know you are. You're in the dark, my friend. All right. I'm going to take questions, but I want to say something, okay? And you got to trust me. You got to trust me on this. They're all being outed, and slowly they're being brought down. Slow process. It's been happening for 8 years now. Slow process, but they're all being brought down. If you go and look at the Oscars and you look in the audience, you're going to see that the big of the biggest are not there. Maybe one, maybe two, but they're not there. It is, they want me to show that clip again? Okay, all right. No. That's not true, Curious Tadpole. He's not new to Hollywood. At all. At all. He knows. In fact, he's one of the up here. Let me explain to you the clip, okay? This is what you've got to understand. This 4-year-old boy, and I'll show it again because some of you didn't get it, was told, and now his parent, you got to understand, in LA and on any movie set is a law that the child under 18 years of age needs to be an eye shot of their child. Do all parents do that? No. Where was I? Just about up it. That's where I was. Which is why they didn't like me. This child at 4 years old was told right before that they did that scene, said to this little boy, do this, please, for us. What the producers were, it was a like, hey, my friends out there that love this, little boys like this, like I do. Look what I put in plain sight. That's why they do it. You never noticed that. Watch it again. Watch the little boy on the right.
Of course it's a race!
But what does that mean?
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Of course it's a race.
But what does that mean?
It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has.
Come here for that. It's not the little boy. The little boy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. This too will be flipped. There will be a Haman reversal. I got a word from Prophet Kim Clemens so powerful. It was in 2002. He said, way down the road, Delora, way down the road, you will head up a film production company that are going to rival everybody, going to flip people on their face. That's what he said to me in front of a couple of thousand people. It's going to happen. There's others too. Mary Crowley, there's others that are walking down this road, and it's going to happen. It'll happen in God's timing. It is disgusting. It absolutely is disgusting. Yeah, I know a lot of you are shocked. Is it true that commercials flash? Nurse Tech, is it true that commercials flash different images of food to influence watchers? That was true years ago, and then it got stopped, so they can't do it anymore. Do they still do it? I don't know, but that was a big thing like 20 years ago, and they did do that, and it worked. It was subliminal suggestion. But I don't know if they do that anymore because they said it was illegal. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Oh, that is a question. Okay. I know off today's topic, but I love your glasses. Please know what brand. Hold on. I'll tell you. Dolce & Gabbana. Now, let me tell you how you think I pay $400 for these frames? This is what you do. Okay, Sue B? And then I'll go back to the thing. But this is free for all the rest of you. You go to like Lens Crafters, okay? You know the little tag? You take a picture of both sides. Then you go online and you look for where you can get that cheaper. You can get them for like $75, $80. I hope that helps. Okay. Have you noticed how some of the series like Revolution Jericho are #1 in their time slot and get canceled? Yes. My favorite shows. What about Under the Dome? Yeah. Under the Dome got canceled. Very interesting. What are your thoughts about Elon Musk and Mel Gibson coming together for this non-woke production company? Ruth, my first knee jerk is not to trust it. That's my first. But let's see. Somebody asked me, how many times have you watched these movies? Not a lot. Look, it's sleight of hand. I was this big. I'm not giving you something, Daniel, that's not true. I mean this. This is the truth. I was this big, and I would watch magicians, and my older siblings, who were like my second mom and dad, and my mom and dad would be, wow, look how good he is. And I would say, no, he just slipped that. Didn't you see? Because I wouldn't be watching. This is natural. It's a natural inclination. It's a gift God gave me. And I mean it. I won't watch what they're trying to get us to watch. I watch over here. So the movies that you watch, I'll watch one for enjoyment. And then the next time I watch it, I watch in the back. I watch what they don't. I watch people walking by. I watch the counter person. And that's what I do. That's how I find things. Is there anyone good in Hollywood? Yes, Molly. Thank you for answering that. Yes. So many. You have no idea the amount of believers and the amount of people that love Mr. T. But they can't say anything. They won't work. Almost all of my clients were like me. And I never said anything. It's like God sent them all to me. He sent them all. I mean it. I mean it. There are so many. That's why I get so upset when people go, Hollywood, they're all rotten. No, they're not. No, they're not. And it's bad that you say that. Don't generalize like that. Don't do it. It's very important that we understand that there are people like me where I was out there. My daughter, trying to work. My daughter is so talented. The opportunities she had, but she wouldn't take off her clothes. She wouldn't. I know so much. Listen, I want to tell you something, guys, and I'm just going to say this and then I'll go back to answering questions. I went through so much. My daughter went through so much. Dennis and I were talking about it today. There was one thing that happened to us, Lisa and that I still to today have PTSD over it. Can't even talk about it. It was that dangerous and that scarring. We left in 2016. Kim passed. We thought about leaving because of that. Then my daughter got a big thing. And she was on this show where she was giving her opinions. And she's a comedian. But she's beautiful. I guess you can't be beautiful and be a comedian. And she gave her an opinion about a very loved young singer, famous, because she knew him. And she started getting such bad death threats. People coming up to our gate of our apartment, banging on it, stalking us when we left. That we had to move. We had to move. It was God's way of getting us out of there. It's the way I look at it. And I'll tell you something. If it wasn't for Kim and even Jane, we almost made one of the biggest mistakes of our life with her music career. And Jane said to me, do not sign with that person. We know him. They were angels to us during that time. I don't know that it got canceled, and I definitely have mixed feelings about that movie. I'm not going to go into that right now. Molly, you're right. There's more of us. Let's change this. Well, we're doing, aren't we? You're in the chat. 1,100 people watching live. You know, we're making waves. We're making waves. Just spread it. Spread these. If you think I'm just looking for numbers, you don't know me. What? I don't get anything out of this. I don't have to put commercials on here and make money from YouTube. We need to get it out. Do you know a woman made my life? She said to me, my son, who never believed in this stuff, watches you. So for that young man, if he's watching today, God bless you, my brother. Thank you for watching. Renee, did Mel Gibson get out of Hollywood scene, or is he still part of it? I also wonder if Tom Cruise is in on all this. He has to be in on it. Tom Hanks, Helen Mirren, Harrison Ford. Okay. All right. I'm going to give you a generalized statement. Okay. I can't go through every single person. Okay. I'm going to give you a generalized statement. If they live in it, they live there. Okay. They're at the parties, and you see them taking pictures, and they're all up in it. Those are the people. Harrison Ford, I don't see him. I don't even think he lives there. Russell Crowe lives in Australia. There's reason for these things. So this is what you do. There's one of your rules of thumb. The other one is a lot of these people aren't in films anymore. Why? Why? And then look at films of all those that are all up in it, and look at the people that are co-starring with them. You can figure it out just like now. Look at the people who are suddenly saying there may be a possibility other than Mr. T if something happens to him. Look at those people, then look at all the people that they're always around. It's pretty simple to me. I don't know why people can't, yeah, CAA. I'm gonna go say nothing, boy. I got stories for days. Okay. Fame is not free. I'm putting that up. Robin Hambrick. Fame is not free. Now let me add to that. In Hollywood, in the political realm, in the judicial system, on broadcasts, fame is not free. Why don't I have 200, 300, 400,000 subscribers? Why? Because I built this myself. I don't have people I sold myself to helping me. That's why. Okay. Marlene, write to me, Marlene. Write to me. Write to me about that situation. No, he wasn't just one of us. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Okay? Let me ask you something, just one of us. I'm putting that right up there. Did you know him? Did you know him? Write to me. I'll give you my phone number. Get on the phone with me and tell me who you really are. Did you know Kim Clement? Did you have dinner with Kim Clement? Did you go to his house and hang out with him? Did you? Were you in ministry with him for 10 years? Just one of us. You were in the wrong place. And on that note, I'm going to end because I'm going to say things that I'm going to be sorry for. That was fake. Daniel St. Clair, let me tell you something, my friend. Okay? I can't say it. That was fake. All right? There is no list of names that are in Gitmo and the spouses. Don't fall for it, guys. It's not true. Do a Michael Jackson rabbit hole. Boy, you guys really. Let me pray about it. Let me pray about it. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got feisty. I know. You know what it is? I'm a mama bear. And when people say things, thank you. Oh my God, I love you. I love you, Revolutionary Bliss. I love you, Revolutionary Bliss. But the internet said so. Oh my God, I gotta meet you. Oh my God, goodness, I love that. Yes. Actually, yes. Many other things to join. Tom Cruise is one of them. Man, you don't know. In a small room, You don't know. You don't know. Okay. Yeah. No, it won't divide us. You have to understand something. Okay. Bella B, I agree. Don't let it divide us. We have love. Yeah, I agree. But you know something? Let me tell you why I'm bothered. Okay, by that. There are so many people that use that word prophet. All right. So many. The one that truly is one, that was my friend. And when I was hungry, gave me money to eat. You think I'm kidding? Seriously. No one gave more than that man. No one. No one. Just one of us who's paying you to troll. Thanks, KV. That's exactly right. Yes, Lisa. Yes. Oops, sorry. Yeah, Lisa, that's where we were put in a room. We were put in a room and we were promised fame. Yes, we were. Okay. Thank you, Ruth. The true prophet doesn't need. Thank you. The true prophet doesn't need to be called one, doesn't need to call themselves one. That is very true. Thank you for that. That's it. I think that's all I'm going to say because I'm losing it a little bit. I'm so sorry for doing that. You know, it's just righteous anger, guys. I could cry thinking the man that's not here to defend himself, that we loved, who helped us so much, helped us, loved us, that I spent so much time with, could say that about him. That person needs to be blocked off this channel. I don't want him on. I don't want that person on here. Hold on. I don't know what that means, but I'm just going to let it go since it's kind of late. Russell just said I was funded by the house. Well, you know what? I'll tell you something about the people in the chat. No, not just one of us. You're not speaking your mind just as I am. Where I'm coming from is truth. Where you're coming from is probably a place where you don't believe in prophets. And so everybody's false. No, you're not just speaking your mind. You tried to convince someone. When you said that, you notice I didn't put you up. I let you go when you said that. But you were addressing someone else, trying to convince them. I'm very sorry. You weren't speaking your mind, and you, not according to scripture. And if you want to talk about it, email me at ddgathering@gmail.com. You and I get on the phone. Every time I say that to people, they don't do it. They don't call me. They don't email me because I'm going to find out who you are. That's why. And on that note, I'm going to go have lunch. And I'm going to do a little dance. All right, so let me just do what I got to do here. Off the cuff, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Join me. I knew. You see why I didn't want to do this? I'll tell you, when you talk about Hollywood or Kim, and you talk about people I love that are still there, and everybody's over there is bad, and he's a false prophet. I can't. You know what? That person that suggests you, whoever it is, go over on the false prophet channels. There's a ton of them. And go tell them that. Or write to me. You guys got to understand. You don't hear people talk about me. You want to know why? Because I'll hit it right on the head. I'll invite them on my channel. They don't come. They They don't come. I laugh. I think it's hysterical. What are you going to do? I'm having some fun now. Just join me for having some fun. Luella Williams, I'm dancing with you, Delora. I love it. You dancing with me, Luella? When I laugh, then Betty Erb, thank you. Be encouraged. We need you. God bless you, Betty. Thank you for that. Okay. You want to help me out? Go to joyncountry.com. Wait for it. Oh, no. Wrong one. This is not it. I'm sorry. Well, anyway, go to Joy. Oh, here, is this it? No. Go to joyncountry.com. Get the top. It's in Delora's closet. The link is below. And Psalm 91 necklace. You know it. Not going to have many. You can still get it in time for Mom's Day, though. So if you want to do that, double-decker Delora on Friday. Renee, you're funny. Double-decker Delora on Friday. And go over to Renee's channel, Renee Pizzazz Movement, or whatever it is. She's awesome. And go to joyncountry.com. Get the necklace. Get the top. Match me. Send me a picture. I don't know. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll see you on Friday. I'm going to go blow off some steam with my husband at lunch. Poor guy. Now he's going to have to hear me. Love you guys too. Love you, love you, love you. And you know the old saying at the end here. Go in the power of God. I'm going to say that to myself. Delora, go in the power of God. I'm human, folks. I'm human. God bless you. I'll see you. See you Friday for Double Decker Delora. Ciao.